welcome to the B Team Podcast. I am your host, Josh Safran, with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest,
Rob Nelson.
We're here every week to talk to you about all things Bentonville, bourbon, and business. The B Team Podcast. Be here. Welcome to the B Team Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Safran, along with my permanent guest,
Rob Nelson.
And Mr. Spicoli himself from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Mr. Matt Mars.
Mr. Matt Mars.
I'm here.
He's stoned out of his mind. Look at him. It looks like he's
had a hard day at work, it looks like.
Yeah, it was one of those days. Dusty out there.
I can't tell if he was doing a couple of tokes on the pipe in the parking lot or if he was crying.
I mean, you got to do something to get through this podcast with you guys. You guys are all going to wish you were there with me.
I mean, we were drinking and now we're adding in the whole new body here.
Well, you never know. No, I just got into some dust and I was welding, so
that's the story he's gonna.
Not good. I'm going with it.
That's the PG-13 story we're telling the viewers.
Yeah, exactly. But I did bring some good bourbon. That's one of my favorites right now.
So you've been talking about this. I haven't seen this one before. Is it something you found out of state?
No, I found it here.
You did?
At Anchor.
Toasted rye? But they have a rye. But is that different than the toasted rye?
Yeah, this is like night and day.
Okay, because I'm not a big rye guy, as you know.
Well, we're about ready to find out. Stop complaining.
And I got to give Dominik a try first.
Yeah.
You guys are going to talk about it.
Well, let's introduce Dominik.
Yeah.
Bobby?
Yeah. I mean, we're super honored to even have you here today.
Thank you so much.
An Olympian.
That's
a
right.
certified Swiss watchmaker.
Hold on. An Olympian?
Yeah.
An Olympian.
We're going to get into this.
Yeah. An Olympian.
I always forget about that.
Right? Oh, yeah. An Olympian, certified Swiss watchmaker, and one of the best jewelers here in town. So
Yeah, the best, I would say.
I was going to say,
Well, I mean, there's only three jewelers in town.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I know who he works for, which we won't get into too much today, right? But, I can't make his boss mad at him.
Yeah.
No, but when you say one of the best jewelers, there's like two in town. So if you say one of the best, I mean, that's not a compliment.
Yeah.
The best.
Well, if you have a watch
Yes.
and you need work on it, he is the best.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from Switzerland.
Let's
I moved
toast
here
you
about
first.
Yeah,
10
cheers.
years
Thank
ago.
you for
Yeah,
coming here.
cheers.
So then I want to hear about you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Tell us about you. And
Yeah,
who's Dominik?
I moved to the area about 10 years ago, 2014 in the summer. My now wife, back then it was my girlfriend, is from Arkansas. So I met her. I'll tell you quick the short story. I went to Miami on a vacation. Spring break, first night going out. 2 a.m. in a nightclub. I met this girl. I tapped her on the shoulder. Couldn't barely speak any English back then. But so we were dating for a year and a half, and then I moved to Miami. So we still had long distance relationship, but Miami, Fayetteville was much closer than Switzerland, Fayetteville. And after another year of dating, we got married, and I moved to beautiful Northwest Arkansas.
I got to pause you for a second. So Miami, like not Miami, Ohio, Miami.
South Beach. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're on the dance floor, good-looking guy, you see this beautiful girl. Next thing you know, that's it?
Yeah, I mean, she's beautiful, good-looking guy. I don't know about that, but yeah.
I was talking to Rob. Good-looking guy in Miami.
Here you go.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
The accent
like
had
that.
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, not much. I think she did say the first thing when she asked me where I'm from Switzerland, she said, "Are you a chocolatier, a banker, or a watchmaker?" And I was so proud of the fact that she knew those, kind of stereotypical Swiss thing, and I proudly said watchmaker, and I could tell she was like, she was hungry for the other two.
She was hoping for a chocolatier?
Or a banker, the money
He's like, I take all the banker's money. So,
Yeah. No, but I live here and I truly love it. How can you not? Northwest Arkansas is a beautiful place.
How long you been here?
About 8 years now, 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
And married to this? Yeah.
Married to her.
Lovely
Yeah, I have
kids?
a little kid, year and a half old, little daughter.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
Great pickleball player.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an athlete. What did you play in the Olympics?
I don't even know if you know the sport. Curling. On the ice, you got to sweep. You got to slap.
Oh my God! I've watched that before, and I go, this is the dumbest sport ever.
I know. Sweeping kitchen, I'm good. I get it. Yeah, no, it's in Switzerland or more the northern country in Europe or perhaps even Canada. it's a bigger deal, but obviously here, not at all.
So can we pull up your Olympic performance on YouTube somewhere? Is there...
Yeah, you can. You see some videos there. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
So are you the guy that shoved it, or you got to go...
Both, actually.
You did both?
Yep. Yeah. Everybody does both things. Yeah. So you sweep and you throw the rocks.
Have you guys seen this game?
Oh yeah, I love how when they're throwing the rocks and they like get down. They're almost on the ground and then they just like let it go.
It's a bit yeah.
See, Josh is having a little FOMO right now because he wishes he would have been an Olympian.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, to me, it's like one level above being a professional cornhole player.
And there are some similarities. I give you that. Yeah. Maybe shuffleboard.
Well, listen, you get to say you're in the Olympics with a real sport. I mean, we can't say that.
No.
Can't say that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys win a medal?
We did bronze, actually. Yeah.
So you got a bronze medal at
Bronze
home?
medal at home, yeah. But the medal was one thing. It truly was more the experience being there, the opening ceremony and the Olympic Village is, the true core memories is more that part.
Which Olympics was it?
2018.
Oh, wow.
In Pyeongchang, South Korea. Yeah, so fairly recent.
That's
Boy, that is. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I already lived here, actually. So it was my old team. I'll have a backstory with one of those watches so we can talk about that a little bit. Yep,
Okay.
yeah, we'll circle back.
Okay.
Now, let me ask one more question on the Olympics. So, have you found a big curling community since you've been here? You guys out like over at the Bentonville Community Center doing curling?
Yeah, they're actually the Jones Center in Springdale. They do, or they used to have curling. I kind of stopped there 2-3 years ago, but I used to go there once a week. Yeah, so there are about 20 guys, most of them retired from up north that came down here, or even from Canada, Wisconsin, and they play some curling.
But can you imagine, like, if you go to the Bentonville Community Center and in walks Michael Jordan and you're like, oh, God, this guy won multiple Olympic gold medals. And then you go up to do curling like you think you're a local guy, and in walks this Olympic bronze medalist. You go, oh, shit, here he is again. The Michael Jordan of curling is here.
Yeah. There actually is, Kansas City has a curling club, and last weekend, believe it or not, I was supposed to play a tournament there. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we just try to get on the pickleball court and not get hurt. I mean, we're the
Well,
weekend.
you blew your knee out like tennis.
I do.
So you play tennis?
I do.
Did.
Okay.
Did.
Gotcha.
Did.
Yeah.
I told him that 3 weeks ago.
He's aged. We think he might be aged out. He may be going to pickleball.
It may.
Maybe, what is the other one?
Padel.
Padel, yeah.
You're not playing that either.
Do you play Padel at all?
No, Padel is more, I think, the European sort of version. We don't have much pickleball in Europe, but Padel is really big.
Correct. Yeah.
I do play ping pong. I have a table at home.
I bet you're good.
I mean, I'm pretty good. Yeah.
He's one of those that stands back like 10 feet from the table.
He's like the Forrest Jump. Yeah, I don't want to play you with ping pong either.
You need to bring him over to Jim's when we go over there next time. Just show
No, I don't want to bring him because I like running the table there.
I'd like to be the big dog there.
Like it has FOMO.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's super cool to have you here today because we all enjoy watches and we enjoy bourbon, and you're a master at it. Like, you're certified Swiss
Watchmaker. Yeah.
What does that mean to be certified?
So, you go and it's a little different system here, but in Switzerland, you go through a watchmaking school. So there are different levels. Most of the school are 3 or 4 years long, but then you can be certified as they're different level of certification. And my level is the horology rabieuse, which is French. And that's basically the highest level you can go to after the school. You can, after that, do another school. You can do the master, just like here as well, but that would be more schooling. But it's just, I can work on all kinds of different watches.
Work on meaning build or you fix? Or?
Fixing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's no watch you couldn't fix?
I mean, there are a few perhaps, but if most of the time...
None that we would ever have.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's some... it happens every now and here as well that I prefer not to touch. Not necessarily because I'm unable to fix it, but because it's hard to find spare parts for certain brands, or even like a pocket watch perhaps that is 100+ years old. It's extremely hard to find parts for.
Yep.
So, then it's just a little bit of like, well, I could work on this, but that maybe takes me 5 hours just to find on eBay the right part. So it's kind of like, you have to find the right balance.
Right. But there's got to be some projects that walk through the door where it's like, man, like how cool would that be to put some effort into it?
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yes.
Right? 'Cause it's just like a unicorn or something with so much history.
Definitely. Restoration bourbon, for sure. Yeah.
So is a lot of it like just cleaning the inside, like just because they can be off? Like, is that a lot of when you're working on them? Is it sometimes just that it's surgically cleaned? And
yeah, you're exactly right. So most of the time, especially on modern watches, I would say, it's often what you can call an oil change. You have to take the whole movement entirely apart. You clean it with like an ultrasonic machine. They're different, like bath. Then you dry heat it, and then you have all the parts clean on your table. You assemble them. You add the correct lubrication according the brand specifications, and then you test it. And most of the time, you replace like 1 or 2 parts. It's always the gaskets, because over time the gaskets, they lose their strength, and the mainspring is as well, and perhaps a couple other parts. But most of the time, it's really the oil that just gets, after 10, 15, perhaps 20 years, the oil dries up.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on average, how many parts would you say are in a Swiss watch?
To exchange or
no, just in general.
Like when you take a watch apart,
this could be, I would say, on a common watch, 150 roughly. I mean, there are a lot of
in that size.
Probably 150. Yeah, there are a lot of screws in there too.
Now, how about a more complicated watch?
It can be 250 very quick, like something more.
What do you think the highest is?
In parts? Oh, it's way over 1,000.
1,000 parts.
Oh yeah, way
super.
more.
I mean, yeah.
Now you have to wear like you magnify.
I used to wear magnifying a lot, but lately I often work under microscope. I found it easier to just look under the microscope and like work like that versus like a magnifying glass.
So Dominik, if somebody comes in like with a $9.99 Timex, do you like laugh at them and be like, "Hey, this I can't." Just go somewhere else.
Not at
all. Yeah, it doesn't matter. For me, honestly,
because that's where I live. I don't live in the world that he lives in.
You got the coolest watch here on the table right now.
So the viewers who don't know you, let's just get the elephant out of the room. Right, Dominik works for Blakeman Jewelry. Shout out to Blakeman and Ben. Right, he's been on the podcast, and Ben's coming again, so we can't share too much, but like if you have a watch need or you want to buy a watch or learn about watches, go to Blakeman's, see Ben, see Dominik, see a lot of their great staff, right? Then there's a lot of stuff coming that we're not going to talk about.
You just interrupted my moment where he was complimenting my amazing watch.
Well, because
you laughed there.
Yeah, I think it's because Rob wanted him to compliment him.
Yes, Rob was upset. Come on, buy $200 watch versus Rob's $20,000 watch.
Never mind, it's not a $20,000 watch.
What you both have on your watch, you both have a great name of a company on here.
Well played.
You got Blakeman's right here. You got Rolex right here. Both are very known in this area, so it's actually pretty level. Now, the main difference is on your watch, there's a battery-operated watch. Rob's watch is automatic. And now back to your question about the Timex. So it doesn't matter if somebody comes in with a $5 watch or a $500,000 watch. It's more about the sentimental value. A lot of watches are coming in. There's a lot of sentimental value with clients that got their watches passed down from their, grandparents and parents. But on battery watches, we often just replace the battery. And if it doesn't work, then we replace the movement. On a mechanical watch, we take the movement completely apart and clean it. So on battery watches, we just do the battery or replace the movement. On a mechanical, we do full services.
And you do this all here in the shop?
All here in the shop at Blake.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to take this home with you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the blue too.
But you meant sentimental. For me, I'm not a watch guy like he is. But my son graduated high school, and we got him. He got a watch, one of the Blakeman's watches, and he got it engraved on the back, and I got one too. So this, for me, talks about him and I getting watches together for his graduation. So I'll always love this watch, as cool as it is. It reminds me of him graduating and us doing an adult guy thing together.
That's exactly what it is. It's not just a watch showing you the time. It's about the story behind, history, storytelling. That's all about that.
It's more of a moment in time.
And it's just like bourbon, right?
You were waiting for that one.
I thought you were going to drop it, and you didn't. Dominic's like, I'm going to give Matt a little bone here. I'm going to let him say it.
But it's just like bourbon, right? I mean, we talk about bourbon all the time, right? We're like, oh, how do you open that $100 bottle of bourbon?
Yeah.
How did you do that? Or, summer.
But Matt doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
No, Matt does a pretty good job. We're still waiting for some of the $10,000 bottles.
What have you guys brought that matches anything that I've brought?
I brought that smoke wagon last episode.
I mean, I think I remember a lot B that was in your.
That was good. Ago. How much did you pay for that? Remind me.
It was a gift, which makes it even more.
Yeah, that's painful.
But getting back to you, right? It's all about like we're here sharing an amazing bottle of bourbon.
Which, by the way,
we're talking watches. I mean, we'll remember this forever.
Yeah,
even if we only have 5 viewers on this episode.
Yeah,
forever's a long time.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have at least 5 because we have your mom,
Haley,
and then the 4 of us.
From Hawaii. So 4, 5, 7. We at least have 7 viewers. Will your wife watch this? Maybe
She will.
Oh, we're up to 8.
I'll make her.
He'll make it.
We're up to 8.
I know Carrie won't watch this.
No, what you need to do is share this with all your friends from Switzerland and tell them about the Team podcast, and they'll watch it every single week.
Absolutely.
We'll be global.
Yeah.
We'll be international.
We're going worldwide.
We're going worldwide.
Yeah, maybe a chocolatier will sponsor us.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong that I don't need a chocolatier.
Well, we just cut them down from chicken tenders to the chicken soup. All right, I have to ask you a question.
Yep.
Rob's watch collection. Good, great, amazing. Like, walk me through Rob.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
For the short amount of time, I've only known Rob. Actually, just thought about that earlier when I drove here, when I saw you the first time in the store. I remember exactly it's about 3 years ago, maybe you both came, and I think you got a watch the same day.
Yeah.
The Sea Dweller, I believe.
Yeah.
And you shortly after, but for fairly short amount of time, he has a very impressive collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love watches.
Does he have more watches than Michael Brewer?
Oh, gosh. What
Not answering those questions.
Going with it.
I'm trying to figure out.
He does that. I didn't kiss and tell.
Or trying to figure out who's going to open the new wing. Is it going to be the Brewer wing, or is it going to be the Nelson wing at the Lincolns?
No, like to me, a watch is a great thing, and knowing that Dominik was coming today, for me, it was like, oh, what watch do I bring? And I don't have that many, but I figured I'd bring a watch that you could easily, purchase, which won't break the bank. And to me, it's like, what's the watch you're going to wear the most? And I would say this watch is this is my go-to everyday watch.
Why?
Even when I'm going out. Because you know what? To me, it's a classic. It's super simple. It's the new ceramic. It's 41 millimeter.
Yeah.
And you would only know that if you really truly know watches. You could buy this same exact watch that's 30 years old or 20 years old, and the differences on it are so slight. Like, unless you really know watches, you would never know. And like, to me, it's like, if you're going to get into watches and you want to get into a Rolex or, something a little nicer, this is like a go-to watch for someone who's maybe watching, who's interested in watches, and they don't know how to, where to go with it.
But if somebody can't afford to live like Rob with the high-end Rolexes,
then they go down to
like a Tudor, right? Like there's different levels.
There's also, if you know watches, you probably know. If you don't, then Rolex. It's not like you can just walk in the store and buy a Rolex watch.
Right.
For the last 4 or 5 years, the demand has been so high that, if you come to our store, we have a great variety of exhibition watches. So you can try them on, you can take pictures of them. But then we need to take your information down on a wait list. And sometimes this can be a couple
of months.
There's a wait list? Sometimes this can be a couple of years.
Yeah.
There's a watch Rob is waiting on for 3 years. So it's not just, you can just buy them. So There are other great brands out there. Tudor is one of them. And actually, it's funny what Rob just mentioned earlier about the simplicity of his watch. This is the watch I wear the most. It's a Tudor watch. I love how clean it is, easy to read, very durable. It's about $3,000, so not inexpensive by any mean, but doesn't break the bank either. So it's a good entry level and luxury watch.
Which Tudor's made by?
They are kind of under the Rolex umbrella. Yeah, back in the days, they shared the same case components and movement parts with Rolex.
So it's all under the same
umbrella. Yeah.
Movado, a decent brand?
I mean, it's all, it's just Movado is much cheaper, but it's just different. It doesn't... If you talk about quality, of course, it's hard to beat a Rolex watch, But then also you pay more, so, a Movado or Tissot. Tissot is a great brand as well. Yeah. They're much cheaper, but they do the job.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you an honest question now. Mm-hmm. The watch Rob's been waiting on for 3 years. Mm-hmm. If Stuart Walton or Doug McMillan came in tomorrow, would they get that before Rob? Is there is there like a list?
Yes, they would get it.
There is a list, but the watch that Rob is waiting for has Rob's name on it, so we just haven't received it yet.
Well, that's exciting to know.
But I have a very good feeling that this might be the year. So
that's right.
Yeah. What's the watch he's waiting for?
We're not.
Well, we will maybe in the next podcast.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
Yeah, it's a look. You never know.
Ange just doesn't know what you're getting, and therefore...
Yeah, that too.
That's exciting.
This is about Dominik.
Well, I've never seen you so excited for a guest before. You love
because look, I love watches like you love sneakers, and you probably have more invested in sneakers than I do in watches. So, I mean, it's all relative. Mm-hmm. What's your advice?
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's over there hiding. What watch did you bring, Matt, today?
Well, I forgot to bring one because I was in a hurry.
But we're finally doing a Rolex guy, though, right?
Well, I like a lot of different kinds.
Do you have as many Rolexes as Bobby?
No.
No one knows how many watches I have.
Dominic knows.
No, he doesn't.
He has a few, but yeah.
I like to have like some different ones, but I like a lot. I like watches.
Honestly, like you brought up Movado earlier. I still have some of my original Movados that I bought as when I was in my 20s when I first started working and stuff like that. Did they hold up like a Rolex? Probably not, but I still have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the watch that I have at home, that would be the equivalent to what you have. My dad passed away, and he was wearing like a black, the onyx face. I forget what you call it, but it's got like the mother of pearl. It's like a mother of pearl face, leather. And so that's the watch that I like to wear for special occasions. So it means a lot to me.
Is it a Rolex?
No, it's a Movado.
Oh,
it's a mother of pearl. No, I can't afford a Rolex.
Whatever.
But my dad didn't come from a upbringing that you have.
Just back out on 50 pairs of sneakers.
Dominic and I are in pickleball.
Give me the tea, man.
Is it a Rolex? No, it was a Movado. It was. I didn't take the Timex. I gave that to my brother. He didn't come from what you came from.
Whatever.
What do you got? What do you got in the bag?
Well, they're going to start fighting in a minute. So.
I got a couple of watches here.
Let's go.
Obviously, I have quite a few at home in my collection. Which I can say I have 30 watches, but truly speaking, I have maybe 6 or 7 that I wear. So some of the watches are fairly inexpensive, some of them are pretty expensive. But these right here are, I would say, the most meaningful to me. So,
and before you bring this out, this is where I think like a lot of people may hear what Josh's bullshit he's been talking about here lately. Like just because you want to be into watches and collect watches, it doesn't mean you have to spend tens and tens of thousands.
Absolutely,
of dollars, right? Like I mean, you could YouTube watch collections, and people have massive collections of watches that are $30, $40, $50 each, right? It's It's just like sneakers or anything else, or hats, or you know. Josh might be into
Dominik does have. He has a few watches that I want that he has.
Now, these are your personal
I want to
watches?
see if he.
These are my personal watches.
I'm going to see if he
So,
bought it.
careful.
I know what you're talking
When
about.
it goes on Matt's arm, make sure you get it back. Like, just because he's going to try it on.
You're right. That's why he doesn't
Yes.
watch today. Thank you.
He's smarter than he looks.
I was like, you know what? I bet Dominik might bring something for Matt. So I actually have an opening over here.
He's smarter than he looks.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dominic, what do you got?
Well, we were talking about prices earlier. So my first watch is a watch that's probably worth about $5. It's this watch right here.
Oh, that
There
is
is
cool.
not even a strap on it. And so the history behind this watch, all of those watches have a personal history.
Hold it up, Dominic, so the camera sees.
Right here, you can see.
Look at that.
I like
So
how it's
this-
got it's like a
Card.
This
gambling.
is my gambling watch, or it used to
Yeah.
be my gambling watch. So I grew up in Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland. And where I grew up, about 5 minutes away, was the main casino. And so I bought this watch. I saw it. I was like, man, I buy this watch. This brings good luck gambling. Well, short story, I was wearing this watch 3 times. I threw it on the ground a couple times, lost some money. I've never worn it ever since. And you could say it's not working. It's,
But it's super cool because it is like a mother of pearl kind of
it
thing.
sort of is, but it's very inexpensive watch. But you know how.
But again, it doesn't matter. Like I
It
don't
doesn't
like
matter.
if you're into watches. I think you got to get out of the mindset of how much it costs.
Totally.
It's just
Well,
like
it's
the same
with
with bourbon.
booze. Yeah,
Right,
it's the same.
bourbon or sneakers, or well, maybe not sneakers, but
And then,
Well, no, sneakers are the same.
and yeah, I was wearing this watch on the blackjack table a few times, but sadly, it was not a good luck charm. So
So
I did actually throw it on the floor once
that
or
why it's
twice.
scratched?
It's destroyed. Yeah, but I still kept it as a keepsake.
That's cool.
So have you taken this apart and tried to fix it?
No, it's just I know it's
I
bad
think
luck,
you
so-
should.
I might give you this watch. I fix it and give it to you,
It's
man.
really. I actually like this.
What he brought
So I like things that you don't see every day.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is cool. Like,
Yeah.
So when he
me,
brought the empty wrist today, he was not envisioning that on his arm. I promise you.
I'm gonna have to make a little.
Is that a quartz?
It's
or-
a quartz. Yeah. No,
So
literally
you could
this-
probably get her fired back up.
Oh, I could if
Come
if I
on.
want to. The question is, do I want to? So
It may take him back in the casinos.
I mean, I'm going to Vegas next Thursday. I'd love to pimp that.
Okay.
So wait.
For
So
the-
if he fixes it for you, you'll wear it to Vegas?
I will wear it to Vegas.
Wow,
And I'll bring it
that's-
back and give it back to you.
yeah. What if you win big money? Is there any?
I'll cut you a percentage.
Okay, let's talk about
Get it
that.
fixed. God, you heard it first on the main team. You're getting a cut.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's this one right here. That was one of my first watches. This watch is about 20 plus years old.
Oh, cool.
Then I got something else. This one right here is a pocket watch, actually.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I like
Put
those.
this in the camera as well.
That's
so
cool.
good you can see it. So this watch has a 2 story. Actually, first story is a little bit sad. So it belonged to my grandma. My grandma had a beautiful pocket watch collection, and she always told me whenever she passes, I'll get all the pocket watches. And we went on a trip, on a family vacation to Hawaii 2020 actually. And I already lived in the U.S., but when my parents left, my grandma for the first time was waving at them to say like goodbye. See, she never waved. And my dad already told me in Hawaii that this was a little bit odd. And also she mentioned weeks prior to the trip multiple times to my parents, hey, you know, this is Dominik's collection. If
Right.
ever that.
She knew.
And we were in Hawaii. Sure enough, she passed. And when we got back, my dad got all the pocket watches. And next time I saw my dad, he gave them to me.
Wow.
But the cool thing about this pocket watch right here, it belonged to my great-great-grandfather, who was a watchmaker as well. And his name is engraved in the case back. And
So this is how old is this watch?
it's about 100 years old.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's not
Let's see if I can open it.
Sneakers don't last that long.
That's true. So there's an engraving here from Paul Borel, and Paul Borel was related to a Borel family that left Switzerland and moved to Kansas City. And the Borel family in Kansas City is the biggest U.S. watch spare parts department. So Borel in Kansas City is known for watch spare parts. So if I work on watches, most of the time I order watches from the parts from Kansas City from Borel. And so my great-great-grandfather was related to him, and that was his.
So if you called the Burrell folks in Kansas City and said, I have this watch, you need to see
know. They know. I met them
want it.
before, and we spoke about our.
That's
They
so
actually had a family tree in their office, and my great-great-grandfather was on there. So kind of a cool story
That's
how it's
very
like
cool.
reconnecting here, like
Yeah.
thousands of miles away from home.
It just brought you here.
Yeah.
Does it still work?
Still works. Yep. And
you
if
go.
it doesn't, I don't have to worry. I can fix it. So
Now, the pocket watches, they used to wear them, like, right inside,
Yes.
and there was a,
those little chain often, like sometimes it's coming back a little bit, I would say. I see it every now and then here in the store too. We fix more and more pocket watches, but often on weddings you see it as well.
It just looks classy. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
ever see somebody take out a pocket watch? It's
It's
cool.
OG.
Yeah, it's super OG.
Yeah.
Can I see that? Can we?
Yeah, of course.
Dominik's like, no, don't touch it.
Now when they come around like that,
The two of you is okay. Let's just get on.
get away from that.
You know, we went
I'll
to
be
go
over
talk
here.
to Ben and see if he could start bringing in some pocket watches.
Yeah.
Buy one?
Yeah. Then
Well, I don't know why this is, but a pocket watch seems more like a family heirloom than a watch, and I don't know why that is. But like,
they're old.
that's
think
what
it's
you
just
think
from
about.
back
Like,
in
what
the
do you think
days,
about?
yeah.
You look at this, like, and you would never think that this is over 100 years old.
And that's meticulous. It looks like brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no pun intended, but it's timeless.
Yeah,
That's right.
But like, think trying to make that 100 years ago and not having what we have nowadays.
Yeah. This was a very
I mean, it's
accurate
ticking.
pocket watch.
It's rolling.
Yeah. No, it works just
Hold
fine.
that up to
Is
the
that
camera.
24 karat gold?
18.
I'm asking before Matt gets a hold of it.
Gotcha. It's 24.
24.
In case
You see the second hand? The second hand
Yeah.
is rolling on it. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that's so neat.
Dominic, you need a chain for that and wear that around.
I
the
do.
store.
I do have a chain actually. Yeah.
Like Flavor Flav?
Oh, not a chain, like, legit pocket watch.
Just something low profile, like
Something
Rob.
low profile.
Let me know next time you'll swing by ahead of time and I want to dress up. Yeah. Maybe those glasses.
He can flip them up when you come in.
Then my next watch, probably that one means the most to me personally. So, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if I said that earlier, but I used to work for Omega in Switzerland for about 5 years. So Omega always, carry this brand in my heart. It's a great brand, good watch. They build fabulous watches. And I was working at Omega while I was playing curling. And close to 2014, the Winter Olympics, it came down to my curling team and this other curling team from Switzerland. And we had a trial, and whoever won the trial went to the Olympics.
Oh, no.
And months in advance, I got myself, actually it was a year in advance, I bought myself this Omega watch right here, beautiful coaxial Omega watch. It was an Olympic version, so if you look closely to the second hand, the chronograph second hand, I'm gonna activate it, and the case back, you see the Olympic rings. And I got this watch as a daily motivation to train, practice, eat, sleep, train, practice, eat, sleep. And that's what I did. Sadly, we came short, so the other team went, but it's still a cool watch just as a reminder. People buy watches when they achieve certain life goals.
Yeah.
They celebrate, or they buy something, thinking in advance. That was kind of the watch for me. That
This is beautiful.
if you look at the second hand and the case back,
Do you have
you
any
see those
Omega?
Arabic.
I do.
You do?
I have one.
Leather? Like that?
No.
So I'd say that's like a watch.
That's beautiful.
So what does an Omega cost? Ballpark, range it?
Depends. It could be as little as about $2,000 and could go up to, the most expensive are there's 60, 70,000, and then there are a couple very unique ones that are, several $100,000.
It's a beautiful face, too.
Yeah.
That white.
I love it too. Yeah.
That's very classy. I love the band. You gotta keep this away from Matt. Cause,
Yeah.
I need to replace the leather band. I haven't worn it in a long time.
Cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff like over here. Was it kind of cool, like getting ready to come up to the podcast and going through your watches?
It was seriously
Weird.
because I haven't seen this one in a
weird
long
fits.
time.
Yeah.
It's like it was meant to be. It fits me perfect.
Matt,
It looks good on me.
you can
Is
start.
it bad luck if I'm wearing this watch?
No, that means you just got to start training for the next Olympics.
Yeah. I like how the bottom is just like the half circle too down there.
I know, and it's really cool if you look at that the hand right here, how one side is longer than the other.
Yeah.
Whenever it turns around after like 180 degrees, it comes to the other circle. This is a special.
Did you see how the Olympics on the back of the second hand?
No, I didn't. I saw the Olympics in the back.
So look at the back side of the second hand, and all the Olympic circles are on there.
Oh, that's so cool.
The one guy with bad eyes that are burnt saw it, and neither of you guys did.
I heard they were going to make welding an Olympic sport.
So how often do you pull out, watch out, and wear it?
I rotate between, I'd say, 4 watches. It usually, so whenever I buy a new watch for myself, or I also recommend that in the store if somebody walks in that already has an existing collection, I always would buy something you don't have. So assume you have 2 watches with a white dial, get the black dial. If you have 2 bracelet watches, get a leather band or a rubber band. You know, if you have something simple, get something more complicated, like a chronograph as an example.
That's super cool.
Always like that. So always try to have a good collection going, and then just like a woman wearing the proper shoes for her outfit, I try to, not every time, but often try to wear the proper watch.
So based on, so you get dressed for the day, then you figure out based on what I'm wearing,
Yeah.
the watch that I'm going to put on?
Yeah.
Just like your sneakers.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like literally, you could come into Blakeman's and start your watch collection with Blakeman watches.
Totally.
There's so many different variations of just the Blakeman watch.
Yeah, there's a whole
Exactly.
case of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lifetime warranty.
It is. Yep.
I love this watch.
When you got this one? 2 years ago?
No, this is, I just got it.
Recently?
In June.
Gotcha. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. It's actually, again, you want to go back to customer experience at Blakeman's. Well, I don't want to spend a lot of time on the Blakeman's piece per se, but I went in, I said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And the guy was like, hey, I don't think we have any. And Ben comes over and says, what are you looking for? I said, I want this for me and my son. He goes, I think we have like 4 or 5 upstairs in the attic in the new pop-up spot. And he says, come by tomorrow with 3. We'll have them all laid on the table. You and your son can pick them out. I mean, that's just
That's awesome. Yeah.
that was just, that made my day. I was always a shopper before that. I will always go back.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
Well, you and Rob at your levels, you guys get that kind of stuff. Like I'm on the outside, and I'm like, and the sheriff's like,
So the watch that he's got on hold,
oh Lord, no,
the 3-year wait that he's got, that would be like a 10-year wait for you.
yeah. No, they're great. I just like giving Rob a hard time.
Duh.
You guys are way too much.
No, of course, we love selling watches, selling jewelry, and yes, that's a transaction, but for us, it's much more personal level. I mean, we truly speaking care about each client that walks in, no matter what they're spending, no matter what they have that we need to repair. We treat them with kindness, follow up. It's very important for us. And I think this is how people should be treated, quite frankly.
And you guys do. Like my daughters go in there, and they treat them like they're a top customer.
Yeah.
And get any ranks all her stuff.
Well, but she brings your credit card. They're a top customer.
Matt's like, whoa.
Good. I got one more.
All right.
Right here. Let's finish this with a Rolex watch right here. This was my first Rolex watch, actually, which was gifted by my wife. We celebrated our 5-year anniversary together, so she bought that for me. She knew that I love blue. I kind of am a sucker for blue watches, blue dials. I really like yours.
Thank you.
And this just means a lot to me because it was my first Rolex.
So
And from your wife.
can I
And
pause
from
you
my
for a
wife.
second? Because
Yeah.
if my wife is watching the podcast, I have never had my wife
Like,
gift me
I
a
like
Rolex.
blue.
I like that's great.
Josh is like, I like all the colors.
Any color with the Rolex would be great.
You've kept it in good shape too.
Well, it's a little
got a little
scratches,
banged
but
up.
you know
that's
that's
let it come around the side of the table first. Check that one.
This one looks a little small though. It looks like your wife might be wearing it.
No, that's me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. That's classy. Very nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you make a good point. Like I don't have any watches with a rubber band, and I know Rob has one of his favorites is your rubber band.
Yeah.
Like me and this.
The Oyster Flex.
Yeah, just because it's not, you don't have to, you're not worrying about, because with what all of us do all the time, like every band that I have that's normal is all scratched up.
I mean, I have a Tudor,
I wear it all the
and
time.
it's like, again, it's not like what he has or what that is, but like anytime I wear it and I bump it into something, I'm like, oh damn, I got a scratch on it, and it's like, you don't want to have to worry about that. When you
But
have
that's why you got it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's why I wear this one now, because I love this thing.
yeah.
No, I mean, I love. I mean, I love them all. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all fun.
Same.
And they're all unique. So,
Do you have any favorite clients? Anybody that comes out on a regular basis? No, not
I got two that are pretty annoying. I'm not gonna say anything.
Most of them are just like these two.
No, honestly, truly speaking, everybody who walks in our doors is amazing. We treat them with kindness, but so do they. So it's kind of a mutual thing. I personally, of course, drawn to the watches, so I love to have interaction around the watch corners about, could be Rolex, Tudor, but could also be their family heirloom. Right. I love seeing people to pick up their watches that we fix, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, or every now and then there's a tear. It's just emotional. That's what gets me going too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
what watches, year and a half, 2 years ago, COVID, post-COVID, watches were like just insane, right? How do you feel the watch market is right now?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, kind of pre-COVID already, it got extremely hard to get Rolex watches, and then COVID hit, and I think a lot of multiple factors, but the main one is a lot of people didn't go on vacation and they had extra money to spare, bought Rolex watches or other brands, and perhaps they weren't that into the watch game before, so they made it harder for people who actually wanted to buy a watch to get one. But I'm surprised how long our wait lists still are, because we get clients coming in every day asking for watches, so we keep adding them on the list. And what I keep telling them is we actually are getting more watches in this year than last year, and last year more than the year before.
Right.
So Rolex are shipping us a lot of watches, but it's just the wait list is so long. And it does take a year to build a Rolex watch.
A year?
A year to build one watch? Yeah. So,
wow.
It's not just that you can build another factory tomorrow. The Rolex actually realized it.
And these are all handmade, right, by one individual?
Partially. No, machines. Okay. And handmade too. So both. But they are building another facility, but they won't be open up functionally till 2028. So, it's going to be a while. Yeah.
Let me ask a question. And again, I'm more of the novice, so I don't know. Was it the pink face? Was it a Tudor or a Rolex? It's a new one that's coming. I told Ben, I want to see this when it comes in. He goes, I can't get it yet.
Is it the Tudor, probably, the chronograph?
With it's got a beautiful light pink.
It's the
pink face. Yeah.
So it's unreal.
So they are.
Well, there's two of them, actually. No.
But if you get one, give me your ring.
Can I get it off Rob on your wait list in a Tudor?
No, when that watch first came out and it hit the thing, I screenshotted it. I sent it to Dominik. Yeah, I was
I asked Ben. I said, Ben, can you get the pink Tudor?
Yeah, but what you don't realize is Dominik does all the watches, and then Dominik and Ben probably talk, or however that dynamic works.
Yeah. So we usually it's not that easy on our end, because you get a shipment in, and then you have.
Have you gotten one yet though?
The pink Tudor,
yeah.
I think one or two. Yeah, it's a very rare. Well, it's a very rare watch.
Well, he thought you wanted the one you've been waiting 3 years for.
Yeah.
I was gonna have Angie buy it, so it was on the different list.
I thought it was Angie you wanted it for.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I thought so.
I should have shown up with the pink Tudor on today. Rob would have shut his pants.
Yeah. No, it's just it's a mix between who is on the list the longest, and then we also, especially us Blakemans, we want to make things happening. So let's say you celebrate your 50th birthday, you have a wedding coming up, or lately a lot of people are trying to find a watch. Their first son will be born in 4 months and things like that. So we love those, creating those memories,
And you did that for us, for Carrie.
Yeah.
So Carrie, I bought Carrie some jewelry, and because she says she would always talk about our watches. She's like, oh, you guys and the watches. And I got her some jewelry, and she was like, oh, I thought it was going to be a watch. So like, I called Dominik and I was like, I got to do some damage control here. And he's like, let me see what I can come up with.
So you got the pink Tudor.
No, she got a really nice watch.
Yeah.
Black Magic, and she calls it.
Yeah.
Black Magic, yeah. That's right.
Dominic was like, there's a little tax for this, man. It's 4 times more than the jewelry you bought.
But hey, you got it. So,
she loves it. And it's like you said, like those memories are, you're never going to, like everyone remembers that moment when they got that. And, it's a story that our kids will tell, and that's what's so cool about watches.
Does all the girls say, hey, when mom passes away, like, I want dibs on that watch?
Oh, yeah. They all split everything.
Yeah.
So
which kid don't you like?
Yes. Dominic, so question for you. So when you meet somebody for the first time, how long does it take for you to look at their wrist to see what they're wearing? Is it like an immediate, like...
Oh, immediate. Yeah,
immediate, right?
I think that all immediate.
Even if you're out at the grocery store, it's...
Today is an actually, my wife gets annoyed at me because I often compliment the person's watch. And, sometimes this can be a little bit creepy, but I tell them I'm a Swiss watchmaker, and then usually, oh my gosh. So today is an example. My parents are here from Switzerland. So we went to the War Eagle fair.
Okay.
Pretty big fair that's once a year in the fall. I've never been to. So we went there, and as we were sitting in, so the parking spot for the cars was way far away. So they had those giant tractors pulling those kind of creative chairs. So
the big wagon.
The big wagon. Yeah. So you sat on there. So I was sitting at this guy, I mean, I don't know, pretty far away, was wearing a blue Tudor Pelagos, and I saw it. And, there aren't many Tudor dealers around here, and so...
did you walk over immediately?
I wasn't walking over, but once we left, he was walking in front of me, so I caught up, and I told him, hey man, nice Tudor, I have my Tudor today. And he was first a little shocked, and then I was like, yeah, I'm a Swiss watchmaker, work at Blakeman. So we started talking for a minute, and he got it online, but he knows now Blakeman's jewelry. And it's not just that, it's just like, I don't know, I like it when somebody compliments my watches.
Yeah.
And yes, perhaps I wouldn't do it if I'm in the night in a random bar, but during the day and follow up with saying I'm a watchmaker, they always follow.
But if you're in Switzerland, like, there's probably a lot of you. But here in Northwest Arkansas, if I walked up to somebody and I'm like,
super rare.
Right? I'm like, hey, I work for that supplier, blah, blah. Great. But you walk up to somebody and go, I'm a Swiss watchmaker. Like, you are?
Yeah. Happens a lot. And it's also just like another example, played pickleball a couple of weeks ago, and this kid was wearing a steel and gold Rolex watch, and made him a compliment, and he said, yeah, I got it at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. And then I was like, yeah, I worked there. And so, those connections. And he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know my dad? And I was like, yeah, sure I do. It's funny. Like often like that.
Must have been Brewer's kid.
I was in the airport. Last weekend we were going to Colorado,
right?
And someone came up to me and they're like, "Man, I love that watch."
Yeah.
And
was it the pink Tudor?
No, the guy on the wagon got the pink Tudor. I knew that yesterday.
No, I mean, it makes you feel good if somebody compliments your sneakers, or a good bourbon as well, and often their stories, because then I'm not a big bourbon person, but I know some of those are very hard to get as well. So you start talking, and then there's a conversation going, and I think that's the same with the watches as well.
Well, it was funny. One time, you and I were at a charity event, and some guy tried to buy the watch I was wearing right off my wrist. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Now Ben has it.
Gotcha. I know which one.
Finally, I sold it to Ben. So.
Yeah.
I had another question for you. The fake Rolex. So somebody walks in with something that they find in Chinatown, New York. Like, can you tell immediately?
Yeah, there are different level of fake watches, but most of the time you can tell immediately.
Now, I couldn't tell side by side, right? But you could, or could I?
There's some that you could as well.
It says our Rolex, like ROLEQ. I bet, it's spelled wrong, kind of.
I mean, that would be a really inexpensive one. Yeah. No, but often you can kind of.
That'd be like Nike without the E.
Yeah.
Matt has
we know.
There are a few that are really good. So what I do is I have to open up the movement and can inspect the movement under the microscope. I mean, I remember one or two the last 5 years where I was really like, man, let me triple check that. It's rare.
So they'll bring it into Blakeman's and they'll be like, hey, what can you give me for this watch? Or I want to sell it. And you look at it and...
Often they're like, I found this watch at an auction, or my dad passed away. And I would say 9 out of 10 times, or 8 out of 10 times,
story
it's fake.
sounds fishy.
Sometimes it sounds fishy too, but every now and then it's just cool. I remember this older woman who... actually, I remember 2 clients, but this older woman came in with a gold Rolex, and she was like, "Well, I know it's, I know it's fake, but can you double check?" And I looked at it and said, "Man, I think it's real." So I went back there, checked it. It was real. And
Why did you think it was fake?
She got it from somebody who didn't have any money, and it was a gold Rolex, so it was worth about $20,000. Wow. And then she was like, "Well, let me go in my car. I have another one." I didn't even bring it because I thought it was fake. And she came in, and the other one was real as well. So.
Man, she had a lot of
So
it.
did you give her like $250 and say, hey, I can tell it's fake?
No. But
and sometimes people just want to get rid of them.
yeah, sometimes
We ran into that situation.
There is not a good story. I mean,
There's a lot of stories.
some people just want to sell it. Some people, most of the time, they're more curious if it's real or fake. And I think some people know it's fake. And I don't have a problem necessarily with a fake watch. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. Because quite frankly, there are people out there, they probably don't have a watch on their wrist till they buy this fake Rolex. And at least they have something on the wrist. And maybe down the road, once they have more money, they get a real watch. It's kind of the same thing with Apple Watches. I get asked,
But I wouldn't have a problem with it if they're not trying to pass it off and try to...
So I say totally. Totally. Yeah. It's kind of like, with Apple Watches, like some people, they only wear Apple Watches for a long time. And they're great watches. Computers, a regular watch can never do that. And I get asked a lot, well, does it bother you? Does it hurt the watch market? Not at all. Because those people, if there wouldn't be any Apple Watches out there, they wouldn't have anything on their wrist. But now with the Apple Watches, they are used to have something on the wrist.
Yep.
And down the road, they probably get bothered by all the phone calls, emails.
I got rid of my Apple.
Yeah, because it's a phone on your wrist.
Exactly. And then they buy another watch because they used to have something on their wrist already.
Because then they're like, I want to dress.
Yeah, they feel naked if this is gone. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, when Matt wears his fake Travis Scotts, I mean, he also pawns them off as real.
I think they are real.
I think so too. No, but shout out to Nike.
Yeah, shout out to Nike. Josh only buys real stuff.
Did you get a pair of sneakers today?
I didn't. No, I tried. Did you guys try?
Well,
no, I didn't.
Yeah. Anyways,
I wasn't a big
I don't
fan.
want to digress.
No.
Yeah,
But
So, Josh, how many sneakers do you have in your collection?
thousands.
No. I probably have about 20 pairs that I wear.
You're full of
20 that I wear.
crap.
And I have about 50 pairs sitting in boxes. So probably about 70 pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Emily fact check this. I think it's a lot more.
No. No, how many watches?
Well, it's like Rob's watch store.
Yeah.
He probably has 4 or 5.
Yeah, how many watches do you have?
2 or 3.
Dominik, this was really cool having you in. I know Rob's been trying to get you for a bit, and
Thank you.
I think it's really.
Yeah.
I mean, this was just.
The stories
Yeah.
are. It's a
Pocket watch.
Even though Matt didn't bring a watch, it's
Matt thinks he can take one home.
I
with
was
him.
hoping he might bring me like a little something to wear.
I'm
but he
working
didn't.
tomorrow. See, come by the store.
So how do we get on the list for the pink Tudor, though? What do we have to do to get on that list?
You mentioned it to Ben already, so that's, or you mentioned it to me now, so
It's probably in passing. Can I get above Rob on the list for that one, though?
you can have it. Josh.
you're right there. Yeah.
I'll buy it and I'll resell it to you.
Is that a men's watch or a women's watch?
It's technically a men's watch, but a lot of watches could be unisexual. Like this is the same watch.
Because it's what?
I sold this
40 or
to several
41?
ladies before as well. So
Yeah. What size is that?
I think it's a 41, I believe.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
So Carrie likes the bigger watches than I think a lot of women like the big size. Younger
That's the
we're not
fashion
young
for now.
anymore, but yeah, and it'll change.
It'll change. It'll go back down to the
small,
26
it'll-
millimeters.
Exactly.
Or whatever they were.
I figured Carrie was a bigger watch face.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I figured she likes to show you're a nicer, bigger watch. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dominik, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Cheers.
Cheers.